Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They will be a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. My son, wisdom calls aloud in the street. She raises her voice in the public squares. At the head of the noisy streets she cries out. In the gateways of the city she makes her speech. For the waywardness of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will live in safety, and be at ease without fear of harm.
Good morning, church. How y'all doing today? Oh, my goodness. How y'all doing today? Oh, all right. That's a little bit better. How y'all doing today? Yay. All right. Good. How's it going online? Wait, let me check. Say, come on, you guys. Say something. All right. Anyway, today we're going to finish up our series on Wise Up, and we're talking about biblical teaching through the book of Proverbs. We've been reading one chapter of Proverbs a day. We're almost done with the book. We'll be done on the 31st. We'll read chapter 31. And so that's a couple days away. So today we're going to finally get to the wise person. What is the wise person like? What does the wise person look like? We spent 2 weeks talking about what the fool looks like, and now we want to look at what does a wise person look like and how does that look. So let's just jump right into it. And you might want to take notes. There's a lot of good things we're going to be talking about. If you want to put on your phone, put some notes there. We're going to have a lot of good things to talk about today. So first of all, Proverbs 1:5 says this: a wise man will hear and increase in learning, and a man of understanding will acquire wise counsel. So you see, one of the characteristics of wisdom is increasing in learning, acquiring, seeking wise counsel. Okay, this doesn't come just naturally out of the blue. It's not like you're going to play video games and all of a sudden you're going to go, oh, I'm wise. I figured things out. You have to be intentional to seek counsel. That's why I'm always going to seminars. I'm always learning. I'm always trying to find people to teach me new things. And I think this has to be intentional. You can't just wake up and think wisdom is, I'm just going to sleep on my Bible, and while I'm sleeping, it's going to seep through the pillow into my brain, and I'm going to get understanding. You have to be intentional about seeking out understanding and wisdom in your life. And wise people do that. They're always looking. And I remember I went to an awesome conference one time, and I wanted to share it with a young person. I knew they would get so much out of it. I'm like, hey, you should go. And they're like, no, I don't want to go. And I'm like, oh, seek wisdom. Go for it. Look for it. Make an intentional intent to go try to find wisdom in your life. So once you find it, the wise person does the next step as well. Once they find wisdom and understanding, then they follow instructions. They do what the wisdom tells them to do. Proverbs 8:33 says, heed instructions and be wise. Do not neglect it. You see, when you get a set of instructions, they're there for a purpose. God created the universe. God created everything to work with certain, how would you say it? There's certain causes and effects in life. And so when you learn what the wise things are and you do them, you get the results of the wise things. So for example, let's say some of us want to have a better marriage. Anybody want a better marriage? Nobody? Nobody wants a better marriage? All right. We need to start another series on wanting a better marriage. So let's say you wanted a better marriage. And someone said, well, you need to find a good marriage counselor and start meeting with them. And then here's a few books to read. And they give you a set of instructions, go out on a date with your wife and spend some time with her and bless your husband and speak well of him. Don't be belittling to him and respect him and all these things, right? And you hear all this list of instructions and you go, I'm not going to do any of that. Guess what's going to happen to your marriage? Nothing. It's not going to change because you're not following instructions. So we have to heed and follow instructions. That's wise. Also, we need course correction, right? Maybe you're planning on making your marriage better, and then you realize, well, wait a minute, I'm not doing as well as I should be, so I need to change up. And that's where Proverbs 9:8 and 9 says, do not reprove a scoffer, or he will hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will still be wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase in hearing. So, wisdom not only seeks instruction and obeys instruction, but wisdom is open to course correction. Give me feedback. Maybe I'm doing something wrong here. And a wise person learns to say thank you when someone comes to you with some kind of feedback or some kind of instruction or correction. Now, if you're proud, you don't want to hear it. Don't tell me what to do. I'll do whatever I want to. I don't need you to tell me what to do. And so we don't listen to feedback and instruction, and we get hurt by that. It's our bad when we don't listen to feedback and instruction. So you want to listen. Proverbs 19:20 says it this way: listen to counsel and accept discipline. Right? How many of us need to accept the correction and the discipline of others? And I'm not just talking to the teenagers, right? Because all the parents are like, yeah, you kid, you need to listen to my counsel and do what I say. Some of us adults are worse than the teenagers. And we need to listen to counsel and do and accept discipline. That way you will be wise the rest of the days of your life. Who wants to be wise the rest of your life? You want to be wise? Listen to feedback, to correction. You see, a wise person just realizes when they fail and when they get feedback, that's just something new to learn. That just shows, hey, I'm ignorant. Wow, I tried something and it miserably failed. That just shows you that I just need to learn more, because there is a way to have success in that. Other people have had success in that. And if they've had success, I can have success. So all I need to do is learn where I'm missing. So feedback is your friend. Everyone say, feedback is my friend. Okay, this is going to be harder. Correction is my friend. All right, correction is my friend. Rebuke. Oh, when someone comes to rebuke you, say, you did something totally wrong, you dummy. Rebuke is my friend. You know why? Because then you go, okay, I totally screwed that up. I messed it up, but I can learn. Show me the path, and I will do things differently. Right? Because I don't know about some of our younger people here, but us older people, I'm in my 50s now. When I was 17, I knew everything. I knew everything. I knew how the world worked. I knew everything. Nobody could tell me I knew everything. The older I get, the more I don't know. It's like I know less now than I did when I was 17. And because of that, I need feedback. I need people to say, hey, John David, did you know this? I didn't. That's a good point. Thank you. I need to hear that so I can change and correct and learn. The older you get, the less you know. That's just a rule of life, right? It's not really, but what happens is the more you know that there's a lot more that you don't know is what it is. You get humble. So look at this list of characteristics. They hear and increase learning and acquire and seek knowledge. They follow instructions and value feedback. What does that mean? What is this a characteristic of? When you think of those things, what do you think? What word comes to your mind when you hear those things? Anybody? I think of humble, humility, somebody who's teachable, someone who realizes I don't know it all, I don't pretend to know it all. There's a lot of things, actually. There's more that I don't know than I do know. So I'm humble. I'm teachable. I receive feedback. I welcome it. I want instruction. I seek it out. I seek learning. I seek to grow. I'm a lifelong learner. I value instructions. I value feedback, and I want to do what I'm learning. That's humble, teachable. Anybody here want to be more humble and teachable? Right? That's proud folks. No, I got it good. I'm good. Okay, the next one. This is hard, right? Is this hard? It's hard. Hard stuff sometimes to hear. The next one is this: works hard and prepares for the future. Proverbs 6:6-8. There's this beautiful illustration, little hormiga, the little ant. It says, go to the ant, oh sluggard, you lazy person. Moms, don't pull this one on your teenager. I know you want to. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Observe her ways and be wise, which having no chief, no officer, no ruler, prepares her food in the summer and gathers her provision in the harvest. See, she's preparing for the winter. Proverbs 10:5 says, "He who gathers in the summer is a son who acts wisely. He who sleeps in the harvest is a son who acts shamefully." So this person works hard and prepares for the future. They know that rainy days happen, right? You guys have heard this, saving for a rainy day, right? Anyone work on cars here? Who likes to work on cars? Anybody? Oh, nobody works on cars and nobody works on their marriage? Oh, this guy. You work on cars? What's the number one thing that goes out on a car? There's a lot of them, right? The starter. The other day I was under my car trying to change a starter. That's a bad thing because I'm a big guy. It takes a lot of energy to get down and get back up for me. Ugh. It was an ugly day trying to change a starter. Starters go out, transmissions go out, refrigerators in your house go out. Teeth get holes in them. It just happens. Life happens. And wise people are preparing for those things so that when the transmission goes out, they're not going to be like, I didn't see this coming. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's the end of the world. It's like, okay, the transmission went out. Well, we have a rainy day fund. We have savings, and we're prepared for it. That's wisdom. Foolishness is just like, well, we just spend all our money every month, no savings. And then when the transmission goes out, could you help us? Please help us. We don't know what to do. Our transmission is out. We want to be wise. Work hard, prepare for the future. Also, the wise person is intentional. Proverbs 14:16. A wise man is cautious and turns away from evil, but a fool is arrogant and careless. You see, a wise person does things on purpose. They don't just do things, they do things on purpose. They wake up and they say, today I'm going to do this, this, this. I have my day planned out. I'm moving the ball forward in my life one thing at a time, and I'm going to do something to do that. Even if it's just one small thing, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it. I'm intentional. Foolish people wake up and go, what am I doing today? I don't know. Hey, you want to go see a movie? Sure. We go see a movie, and then before you know it, the day is gone. What have I done today? Nothing to move the ball forward in my life at all. I haven't done anything to help my life and prepare for my future. I just went to go see some movies with a friend because I had no plan, so someone else made the plan for me. Right? Wise people say, no, I have a plan. I'm doing things for my life. I'm not thinking that just the stars are going to align, I'm going to win the lottery, and someday I'll be independently wealthy out of nowhere. No. Wisdom prepares, works hard, and is intentional. Wisdom, Proverbs 23:19, is careful of their way. Look at Proverbs 23:19. Listen, my son, and be wise. I read through the Proverbs with my son every day, and every time it says, listen, my son, I look at him like, Zachary, my son, listen. And then I look in the mirror and go, John David, you too, listen. Listen and be wise, and direct your heart in the way. Now, at first, this seems like pretty innocent, like, direct your heart in the way. Okay, let's do that. How do you direct your heart in the way? What does that even mean? And so I stumbled across this idea called the principle of the path. It's a whole nother sermon. We're going to do that later. But it's very simple to understand. If you want to write this down, this is a good one. The principle of the path basically says the path that you're on determines your destination. The path that you are on determines your destination, not your intention. Okay, let me illustrate. Does anyone know where 35, the highway, ends in Texas? Laredo. It ends right here. Stops right there at the border, Highway 35. And if you get on 35 and you drive north, where are you going to go? Austin, and then what? All the way to what? Canada? It goes all the way up to Canada. It's international. I-35, interstate. Does it go through Chicago or something like that? It goes up that way. So think about it. If you get on I-35, you're going to, at least in Texas, one of the last places you'll be in Texas when you go on I-35 is where? Big city. Starts with a D. Dallas. Right? You're going to go through Austin and then Dallas. I-35. Now, principle of the path says this. The path that you're on defines your destination, not your intention. So you could wake up and say, I want to go to Houston. My desire is to arrive in Houston. But if you are on I-35 North, what are you going to do? Are you going to Houston? No way. You're going to Dallas. No matter what you think you're doing and what you say you're doing and what you really want to do, you're actually going to Dallas. So the way this plays out is this. I want a good marriage. Let's go back to the marriage because nobody wants to work on the marriage. I want a good marriage. Great. What is the path that your marriage is on? Are y'all having devotions together? Nope, we don't do devotions together. How about a date night? Do you do a date night? Nope, don't do a date night. Now, if your marriage is in trouble, are you looking for counseling? Nope, we're not looking for counseling. Okay, what path is that marriage on if they're not talking, and they're too busy because everyone's too busy? What path is that marriage on? Not a good one. But if you go, okay, we got problems, but we're going to counseling, we're trying to pray together a little bit more, and we're calling each other, we're trying to honor and respect each other, and we're doing things with the kids, and we're planning out our vacation. We're looking at the calendar, actually talking about the calendar with each other and planning out. That marriage is on a good path. And just insert your idea, whatever. You want to lose weight? Anybody here want to lose weight? I want to lose weight. Okay, my intention, remember, the path that you are on, not your intention, determines your destination. So I can say with all my heart, I want to lose weight. Okay, what's for lunch? Well, let's have some pizza, and I want the tacos, some piratas. And have you ever done this, all us overweight people? Like you pick and choose the restaurant, and you just get the little things that you like from each one, then you make one meal out of it? That's messed up. That's messed up. I'm going to get the french fries over here, the burger over there, the dessert over there, and you just make a run. And that's your path. And that was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you're not working out at all, and you have no accountability to anybody. You eat whatever you want to. Are you on the path to losing weight? No. But I really want to. That's great. Everybody wants to. It's the wise person that says, I am going to look at the path I'm on and then work towards what I need. Prince of the path. Proverbs 21:1. The next thing, the wise person is sober. They're sober-minded. It says, wine is a mocker, strong drink a brawler, and whoever is intoxicated is not wise. This is about an addiction. This is not just having a glass of wine with dinner or whatever. This is somebody who is addicted to drinking, and it causes brawling, fighting, destruction. You're going to be destroyed. And wise people go, no. I'm not going to be addicted. I'm not going to let anything control me. I control my life. Remember, I'm on the path that I want to be on, that God has put me on, and I'm choosing that path. And drunkenness and addiction is not a path I want to be on. Spending all my money on little games, little maquinitas, is not a path that's going to bring my family health and prosperity. So I reject those things. We're sober. Well, the wise person is sober. So let's look at this person. Works hard, driven, intentional, careful of their way, and sober. What do you think about when you hear those things? What do you think about? The first one was humble. The second one, I'm going to put it this way, hungry. Right? These people are responsible people. Wisdom is takes responsibility, right? They're not waiting for the stars to align and things to go right. They choose the path that they want to be on, and they go right because of the choices that they make. Hungry and responsible people. That's what God calls us to be. Not people who turn responsibility over and blame everybody and blame. Anybody played the blame game in your life? It's because I live in Laredo, that's why I eat so many tacos. No, John David, you eat the tacos because you shove them in your mouth. It's not because you live in Laredo. Right. I got to take responsibility. So the responsible, hungry person, that's the second trait. Humble, hungry. And then the third one. Let's look at this person. Look at this personality type. And this is all wisdom. Proverbs 10:19. There are many words, transgression is unavoidable, but he who restrains his lips is wise. This is the person that realizes if I talk too much, I'm going to cause problems. I'm going to be quiet and listen. Listen to other people. They listen to other people. The wise person listens. Not only does the wise person listen, for Proverbs 11:30, the wise person builds people up. Look at this. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who is wise wins souls. Now, that's not just talking about salvation. People win souls, like soul winning, the way we think of it as Christians. But this is the person that can win people over. They're winsome. They can talk to somebody, and through their conversation, they win that person's allegiance, they win that person's thoughts, and then they just win them over. And they're like, I'm a believer now. You're a good guy. I like you. They're good at talking and building people up. Proverbs 12:18 says that they heal people too. Look at this. There is one who speaks rashly like the thrusts of a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. I mean, do you know that person in your life that they just always say the right thing? Like, when you're hurting, you call them and oh, wow, okay, they really encourage me. They really help me find healing and encouragement and peace. That is a healing person, a wise person. Not only they heal, Proverbs 13:14 says they bless too. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life. They bring life to turn aside from the snares of death. I mean, you ever been with somebody that you're with them for 10 minutes and you want more? Like, they build you up, like, oh, it's good to see you. I love hanging around with you. You're such an awesome person. And you're like, oh, I am an awesome person. Thank you. And they start building you up, and you want to spend more time with them. As opposed to the person that after 5 minutes you're with them, you're like, somebody get me out of here. Anybody ever? Like, they're killing, this person is, they're just sucking the life out of me. I don't want to live anymore after having spent too much time with this person. Like, they put you down, they belittle you. You feel worthless after you've been around that person. They're life-stealing, not life-giving. So the wise person blesses and gives life and brings goodness to the relationships around them. And Proverbs 13:20. They know how to have the right relations. He who walks with wise men will be wise. The companion of fools will suffer harm. You see, wise people surround themselves with wise people. They get the people around them to help them grow, and they're always learning from one another. Do you have those kind of relationships where, wow, I walk away, I learned something new from this person? And then they ask you something, and then you teach them, and you're just building each other. It's a tornado of growth, right? And then there's other relationships, like it's just a hurricane of destruction, right? You hang around them, and you end up in jail. You end up in a bad place. You end up with a broken marriage. You end up with broken relationships, destroying the things around you, bad relationships. Wise people know, hey, who I choose to surround myself with is huge. And then 29:8 says this, scorners set a city aflame. Think about that. Scorners, scoffers, set a city aflame, but the wise men turn away anger. Wise men turn away anger. So the wise person is the person who doesn't create disruption, they diffuse it. Have you ever walked into a room and you see a fight going on and you just have the words to calm everybody down? Or have you seen somebody do that, right? Sometimes there's these agitators in life or these peacemakers, right? Other times you walk into a room like, oh, there's a fight. Give me my gloves, right? I'm going to fight with them. I'm going to make this worse. No, a peacemaker. That's the wise person. So now let's look at these characteristics. Listen to others, building other people up, healing relationships, being a blessing to others, living in healthy community, life-giving community with each other, wisdom-building community, and being a peacemaker. right? This reminds me of somebody who is relationally healthy, right? So the characteristic is relationships and smart. A smart person, a relationally wise person. So we have the hungry person, the humble person, and the smart person. Okay? So the deal with wisdom is this: we can be wise in one area and really, really, really unwise in another area. Right? I mean, some of us are great in relationships and really, really poor in money management. We're like, okay, Lord, I need to work on that area. So what I want to do is show you the fact that we need to balance these three things. So let's go on to the next slide and then the one after that. So we're relational, we're smart, but let's look at this. So you have the humble person. Now, if you're just humble, you're just teachable, and you don't have, you're not hungry, and you're not smart. You're not smart in relationship, the way you deal with people. You're just very, very humble. Well, I call that the pawn. This is the person that everybody just rolls over them. You're a humble person. And other people walk in and say, hey, do this and do that and do that. Okay, okay, okay. And you're always the one conceding, and you're always the one being humble, and you don't have any drive for your own vision and goals that God has given you. And you're just kind of not good with people, so you're all just kind of the pawn being stepped on. Then what happens if you're just hungry? You're just a hungry person. You're responsible. You have a vision. You have a plan. You want to get a lot of things done. Well, that's the bulldozer. That's the person that walks in and just moves a lot of dirt, right? They get a lot of stuff done, but they might be hurting the relationships around them, bulldozing people over, using the pawns for their own ends, right? They're just destroying relationships. That's the bulldozer. Some of us are bulldozers. Some of us are pawns, and some of us are bulldozer. Anybody know that they're a bulldozer? You just bulldoze the relationships around you. Then the last person is the very relationally smart person. They know how to deal with relationships. They're the charmer, right? If they don't have humility and they don't have hunger, they don't have a passion, a vision for what they're accomplishing, they're really smart. They can charm their way through anything. They're great talkers. Make people feel good. Like, ooh, I feel good. Did they accomplish anything? Nope. Are they humble at all? Nope. They're very proud. They're the charmer, okay? And some of us are charmers. Now, what happens? Does anybody love Venn diagrams? Anybody a Venn diagram person? Nobody? One? We got one Venn diagram. You're going to love this. So what happens if you're humble and you're hungry, but you're not smart with relationships? I call that the accidental mess maker. Okay, they're humble. Like, oh, yes, I'm a humble person. I'm here to serve. I'm here to love everybody. And they're hungry. Like, I've got some vision. I've got some drive. Yes. But they don't know how to deal with relationships in life. And they just cause accidents. They say the wrong things sometimes. And then people get offended at them. And then they don't know how to make it up. They don't know how to fix those things. They're not good with relationships. That's the accidental mess maker. Because they're humble, right? People tolerate them. Well, you're a humble guy. I could forgive you, not being wise in how to deal with that relationship. And then there's the other, what if you're humble and you're really good with relationships? You can sweet talk your way through whatever. Some of these sweet talkers, and they're humble, so that means they're not offending everybody, right? They're not proud and brash. They're humble. So I call that the lovable slacker. Everybody loves them. They're such a nice person. Doing anything. Not get anything accomplished. There's no real transformation happening, but they're so humble and they're really nice to me, so we love them. So the lovable slacker. And some of us put up with the lovable slacker or ourselves, and we are the lovable slacker because we're just so good with relationships and we're really humble about ourselves. Then there's the other one. What if you're a hungry, driven person and you have great responsibility and drive and you're smart with relationships? You know how to get what you want with people. You know how to make people feel good. It's the politician. Sorry, I had to go to politics. Sandra's laughing over there. So all the family's here. We love the family. And I mean the politician not as a good politician, but the person who is manipulative and getting their way because they know how to say what pleases everybody. And there's the famous stereotype of the politician: just say what you want, promise everything, and you deliver what? Nothing. And we have politicians like that in this world. And so we don't want to be this kind of person. So what you want is to be humble about yourself, be real about yourself, have a drive, be responsible and hungry, and be smart and relationally loving and building others up. And that is what I call the wise person. The person that is building others up, not bowling them over, good and treating people right, and humble about themselves. They're not all proud and braggadocious or whatever. They're the wise, humble, teachable, hungry, responsible, smart in relationships. That's the wise person. And my prayer for us as a church, as an individual, like you could rewatch this and take notes and go back and start evaluating yourself. Okay, am I the humble? Am I a pawn? Am I a bulldozer with relationships? Am I someone who's always charming people, the charmer, but I never really accomplish and have no hunger? Where am I at in the spectrum? These are good conversations to have. You can even, this is a good marriage. We're talking about marriages, right? Everybody want to fix their marriages? Have this conversation with your husband or wife. Like, where do you see me on this spectrum? And then listen, right? Don't get defensive. Then you're back to being the proud bulldozer. Listen and learn and grow and say, hey, I realize I can not be as teachable as I need to be, or I'm not as hungry as I should be, or I'm not as smart with relationships. And support each other and build each other up. So, church, get wisdom, seek it, get growth, desire development of your life, of yourself. I mean, this is a 3,000-year-old book, at least Proverbs is. We're hearing wisdom from 3,000 years ago, and what's amazing, it's still relevant for us today. Now, if you're not a believer yet, and you're just like, I'm just studying, I'm seeking the Lord, I want to encourage you today. You can put your trust in Christ. He is the wisest, best person ever, and He loved us so much, even when in our foolishness we were unhumble or proud. We were not teachable. We blew people off, didn't listen. We were not responsible. We were irresponsible. We were sinful. We were not smart in our relationship. We just trampled people over, destroyed relationships. God wants to save you from that and forgive you and give you grace. And that's why Jesus died on the cross for our sins, to forgive us.